I'm going to tell you 8 fast ways to raise your credit score starting today. What's up, Wise Flyers? Welcome to another video. If you're new here and you want to learn how to travel anywhere in the world almost free by using credit cards and travel points, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss a thing. So credit is still a very strange concept to me. And whether you agree with it or not, unfortunately, we're stuck with this system. So you might as well go for the highest credit score possible. In this video, I'm going to go over 8 ways to raise your credit score that you could start implementing right now. Before we get started, it's important to have a baseline to know what your credit score is. So I recommend getting a free credit report at annualcreditreport.com. And a free way to monitor your credit score on a daily basis if you want to is creditkarma.com. It's completely free and it won't mess up your credit score by checking on a regular basis. The first step is to dispute any errors that you have on your credit report. So once you have your credit report in front of you, make sure that there are no mistakes. You don't want to be penalized for something on your credit report that isn't accurate. If there are any mistakes on your credit report, you want to contact them as soon as possible and get those fixed. Step number 2 is negotiate the removals. So if you went through some hard times, whether unemployment or between jobs, and you couldn't pay your bills on time and it may have put a bad mark on your credit score, you can't deny that to the creditors. But what you can do is ask the creditor to erase or remove any account that went into collections on your report. You can also get a Goodwill adjustment. So if you had good credit history up until the point where you had a little bumpy period where you were going through some hard times, couldn't make the payments, you could ask the credit card company to erase the mark on your report and just show them that you had good history before and you just went through a little rough period. And sometimes that works. Step number 3 is to get a credit card. So I know this may sound counterintuitive if your credit score is low to get another credit card, but assuming that you're able to pay your bills on time, a credit card could actually enhance your credit score. If your credit score is low, then the best thing to do is get a secured credit card. So an example of this would be the Capital One Platinum card, which reports to the 3 credit bureaus every single month. Assuming you're in good standing with this credit card, then the credit bureaus will see that you're doing a great job and your score will rise. If you're not sure which secure credit card to get, I offer a free card consultation. There's a link in the description. And if you want to know which card to get next or basic card strategy, feel free to fill out that form. The next step is to become an authorized user. The way this works is you would go to someone that you trust that has a credit score of 700 or above and ask to become an authorized user on one of their credit cards. And you could also mention to them that you do not have to ever touch the credit card ever, that they could get the authorized user card in the mail, cut it up, you never have to see it, and you just benefit from this person having good credit score, and that credit score will transfer over to yours as well. I love this passive method because you don't have to do anything. You're just benefiting off of this person's credit score. You just want to make sure that they're trustworthy and they're not going to go into debt and go bankrupt or tank their credit score, because that will affect you as well. Step number 5 is to underuse your credit card. So credit cards are a tool to get good credit score and then eventually get a lot of credit cards that offer miles and points to get free travel. But until we get to that point, you want to make sure that you're developing good credit card habits. It's important to not spend more than 30% of your credit utilization. What that means is if you have an overall credit line of, let's just say $1,000, you don't want to spend more than $300 on that credit card, because that will make it 30% or higher. So if you keep it below 30%, your credit score won't drop. And ideally, you want to never carry a balance at all. You always want to pay your credit card in full. The next step is to raise your credit limit. So again, you want to be responsible. Just because you have a higher credit limit doesn't mean you want to spend more money that you don't have. You always want to pay everything in full every month. The way you would raise your credit limit is you would call the credit card company. Let's say every 6 months that you have the card, you could raise the credit limit 10 to 25%. You don't want to ask for too much of a credit limit, and you don't want to ask too often. Otherwise, the credit card company may flag you and consider you a risk for having their credit cards. In this case, you're raising your credit limit to raise your credit score, not to spend more money. The next step is to not close any credit cards. So if you got into debt and you paid off your credit card and you wanted to cut it up, you could do that, but don't close your account. When you close your credit card account, it could actually hurt your credit score. If the credit card has no annual fee, you could keep it open, cut it up, and never touch it. Ideally though, you want to put at least one purchase on the credit card every 6 months. So even if it's a $5 purchase, this way the credit card company doesn't close the account due to inactivity. There's a method to not pay the annual fee. The way you do this is, let's just say it's with the Chase Bank. You have the Chase Sapphire Preferred card and the annual fee is coming up and you decide you don't want to pay for it. You could actually downgrade the card to a Chase Freedom card, and this way you don't have to pay the annual fee and your credit line with the bank stays the same. By keeping your credit line open with the bank, your credit history stays the same and your credit utilization stays the same. There's no sudden drop to drop your score, so keep your cards open when you can. The next step is to create an auto pay feature on your account to make sure that you're paying your bills on time in full every single month. The way you would do this is in your credit card account, no matter which credit card you have, you could just type in the search bar auto pay and then an option for automatically paying your credit card will show up. By doing this, you're essentially turning your credit card into a debit card, which will eventually earn you tons of miles and points for free travel. If you don't want to put the auto pay feature on, you could pay your credit card bill any time of the month. You don't have to wait until the due date. You could make a purchase today and pay it within a couple of days. You could pay multiple times throughout the month as well. The most important part though is to make sure you're paying your credit card bill in full every single month. Did I miss any methods to increase your credit score? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, share it with someone who would benefit. And if you want to watch more videos on credit cards, then you could click any of these links over here and I'll see you in the next video.